Season's greetings, everybody! TPrower once again. What a year it's been, huh? The first episode of Season 3 of The Owl House aired. We got a new trailer for the Super Mario Bros. Movie, which I'm definitely gonna go see. And we've had some highly anticipated video game releases. Most of which I've had to avoid spoilers over, and I still am as of recording. Xenoblade Chronicles 3, been watching that through Tom Fox and Nico B. Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope, Sonic Frontiers, and Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. But that's not why I'm here today. It's been a while since I did something pony related, hasn't it? Especially since we've got two My Little Pony Generation 5 cartoons, the comics, and the Pipcast this year. I do apologize again for a lack of pony content, but like I've said before, I don't have as many opportunities to record as I used to, so it's rare to get a chance like this these days. However, as a holiday treat, I like to dedicate this video to the My Little Pony Generation 5 Holiday Special that came out last month, Winter Wish Day. Before I get to that, however, allow me to sum up what we've experienced so far in Chapter 2 of Make Your Mark, which I thoroughly enjoyed, as I also do with each new episode of Tell Your Tale. Izzy discovered what she can do in Maritime Bay, as she set up a roaming DIY crafting service. Izzy does it, and also returned the favor Pip gave her in giving her advice by helping her with her artist block. Hitch's sense of sheriff's duty was put to the test as he grappled with the changes that came with Earth Pony magic, while Izzy dragon sat Sparky. We even got an unexpected cameo from her studiousness herself, Twilight Sparkle, with a cryptic warning. Plus, we got to see how Sprout's been doing all this time. Zip encouraged Pip to play hooky on Portrait Day, and after a brief falling out, they made up after singing a beautiful sisters song together. A lot of people seem to agree that this was the best episode of the bunch, and I concur. We also got an unexpected ballad from Queen Haven. Sunny received a brush with stardom when she found out ponies actually listen to her ideas when she's in her alicorn form. And only when, sad to say. Lucky her real friends appreciate her no matter what. Meanwhile, Pip tried to discover what she could do to go viral like Sparky. Sunny and Hitch had their own version of FIM's A Royal Problem when their cutie marks got magically switched and got to take a walk in each other's horseshoes for a time. Izzy treated her friends to a traditional unicorn sleepover, and we were given some additional lore to ponder over in regards to how magic disappeared in the first place, with two different versions of the story. Zip went into full detective mode as she hunted down Sunny's missing lantern, which Pip used as an opportunity to not only let her sister enjoy herself in doing what she loved, but also to record a catchy new song. And lastly, Sparky went missing, sending Dragon Dad Hitch into a spiral of desperation to get him back, culminating in him briefly becoming Batman before the little guy could finally be found. Overall, the animation's a genuine step up from the somewhat rough start the special had. The songs are catchy, the overarching story and bits of lore we get are fascinating, though plenty of folks are still iffy about how it ties together with FIM, and the main five are as lovable as they've always been. And, of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't discuss one of the biggest draws of this chapter, the new characters. Sparky Sparkeroni, it turns out Hitch gave him that name, despite being a dragon, isn't quite the same as Spike. He's a bit more like Flurry Heart, an adorable, affectionate, and fun-loving baby, who also happens to have strong magical powers that cause weird things to happen. In this case, his dragon fire changes objects into something else, and then changes them back again. It's really cute seeing how much Hitch dotes on him as a dragon dad, and his friends are more than happy to act as honorary aunts to the little guy. I feel like it's a risky gamble introducing an infant character, especially an overpowered one, because they may overstay their welcome quickly, like a poorly written comic relief character, or else might be underutilized and pointless. Not so with Sparky, at least as far as I see. Also, I have to say that Robert Tinkler's voice for him reminds me a lot of Frank Welker's portrayal of animal or otherwise unintelligible characters. We also got a proper introduction to Opaline, the shadowy alicorn from the end of the special, and our main antagonist. Athena Karkanis does an excellent job of portraying the sort of villain she is. Vain, narcissistic, temperamental, and power-hungry. We still don't know what exact connection she has with Twilight or the main six, what made her an alicorn, specifically a fire alicorn, or why she believes only she deserves to have magic. But she seems to be a prominent figure in magic disappearing in the first place. All we know is that she lacks much of her own magic, and relies on potions and other means of accomplishing her goals, including spying on our heroes through a magic compact. And now, she's obsessed with obtaining magic through Sparky's Dragonfire. This potion work and magical eavesdropping, along with a bit from episode 4 when she impersonated Sign's reflection, reminds me a lot of Ursula the Sea Witch. What's more, she's an abusive and ungrateful parental figure, bringing Mother Gothel to mind. Which brings me to Misty, Opaline's henchpony, adoptive daughter, and the current darling of G5. Easy to see why just by looking at her. Her curly mane and tail, her freckles, the pink on her hooves and on her belly, and her cute voice, provided by Bahia Watson. But it's more than just looks when it comes to Misty. For some reason yet unexplained, she lacks a cutie mark, and is working with Opaline to hopefully earn one, once she's given the magic she seeks. It's not unlike what the Storm King promised Tempest in return for her allegiance. She tries to be evil, but she's just too clumsy and cute to be taken seriously. It's obvious she lives for approval and validation, something Opaline refuses to give her if she doesn't do what she's tasked with. And the shot of her crying at the end of the last episode is absolutely heartbreaking. This is a mare that needs to be protected, loved, and saved. I have little doubt she's eventually going to turn on Opaline and join the main five, especially since she's already started to get to know them, and even befriended Sparky. I should also bring up the Pipsqueaks, or, more specifically, the three we see most often in Maritime Bay. Glory, voiced by Athena Karkanis, Seashell, voiced by Kaya Oz, and Peach Fizz, voiced by Bahia Watson. These three just might be G5's answer to the Cutie Mark Crusaders. They may not get into crazy mischief to earn their cutie marks, like Apple Bloom, Sweetie Belle, and Skooloo did, but they're still an inseparable trio of adorable fillies who represent all three types of ponies. And they even had the luck to collaborate with their idol, Pip, which would be anyone's dream come true, let's be honest. Collectively, I call them the Three Squeaks. So that's where I stand on Chapter 2 of Make Your Mark. And the only other thing I'll say before getting to Winter Wishday is, if you haven't taken a listen to the Pipcast yet, hosted by Pip Pels and Jazz Hooves, you absolutely should. It's a fun experience, and with some unexpected guest stars in the later episodes. It's currently on hiatus right now, but hopefully we'll see it return soon. Now then, with all that said, it's time to get to the main event, a recap and thoughts on the Winter Wishday special. So, without further ado, let's get to it! It's the holiday season in Maritime Bay, and as Hitch and Sparky head to the Bright House, we can see all of our favorite Maritime Bay ponies bundled up and enjoying the snowy weather. We even see Sprout, who seems to have gotten better control over his Earth Pony magic since episode 2, Good for him. Through all of this, our first song plays. I just can't wait until Wishentine's Day. Which, as it turns out, is playing on the record player Izzy made in episode 1. At the Bright House, holiday spirits are high. Well, mostly. Zip's going through singing practice with Pip, and very unenthusiastically. Izzy's hunting for ornaments, and Hitch is feeling warm and fuzzy over a holiday card from his grandmare. As for Sunny, she's made personalized holiday cookies for her friends, and is absolutely giddy over the prospect of spending the holidays with them. Her friends, not the cookies. She's especially looking forward to opening gifts under the wishing star with them. Just hearing her squeal in excitement over it is just too precious. You are so cute, Sunshine. But there's one small problem. Her friends all have plans. And we learn that each of the 3 pony tribes celebrates their own version of the winter holidays. Sadly, gone is the unity and togetherness of heartswarming. Instead, Earth ponies have the titular Winter Wishday, and Hitch plans to spend it with his grandma Figgy as he always does, with Sparky in tow. Unicorns have Wishiehoof, and Izzy needs to put her special ornament on Bridlewood's wishing tree for the last day of the event, to avoid the jinxies. Lastly, Pegasi have Wishentine, and Pip and Zip are set to perform in the Zephyr Heights Wishentine Royal Carousel Concert. And with a name that long, it's sure to run for a long time. However, Sunny Star Scout is not a pony to be easily discouraged. She's confident they can find a way to celebrate all their holiday traditions together and be back in time to see the wishing star. But as Pip points out, Bridlewood and Zephyr Heights are pretty far away from Maritime Bay, not to mention the snow falling. Speaking of, it's never snowed in Maritime Bay before, which mildly puzzles Sunny that it's happening now. Makes sense since it's, a coastal beach town. But Hitch has been wishing for it to happen ever since he was little. I mean, as a person who lives in the land of oranges, alligators, and Disney World, but he used to live up north, I'd love for some cooler weather right now. Luckily, Izzy and Zip have a solution, or snowlution, to this travel conundrum, and those following Tell Your Tale already know what they've got in mind, even if this might slightly contradict how it plays out there. Remember the broken down tram car Izzy picked up in the last episode, Chapter 2? Well, she and Zip worked together to make it into a flying machine. It's not exactly the prettiest, or the sturdiest, but the fact that they put it together as a surprise for their friends is very sweet. Especially since Zip wanted her friends to feel the same joy she does when she flies. She's so considerate. And what's this contraption's name? The Marestream! Pretty awesome name, I have to say. Though I've heard some people think its name was going to be the Winnebago when it was teased. As an additional reminder from Chapter 2, Zip's been looking after Sunny's Prisbeam lantern to investigate its properties. Though all she's been able to uncover is that its magic is powerful, just like their friendship. And what a coincidence! Because at that moment, the magic of the main five's friendship powers up the lantern, and, before their astonished eyes, the Marestream transforms from a hodgepodge collection of parts into a sleek, futuristic, flying RV, perfectly worthy of its name, and with no questions of its capabilities as transportation. The interior is nothing to sneeze at either, and even has touchscreen controls. Those who've seen the Tell Your Tale episode will know that Izzy and Zip have already experienced the Marestream transforming, but here, it happens for the first time, even for them. So I think we just have to accept that the continuity between both shows only has some details in common. Izzy quickly makes up some flying licenses for her and Zip, which surprisingly meet our good sheriff's approval, while Pip notices that there are 6 spots in the cabin when there are only 5 of them, not counting Sparky. Makes you ponder, doesn't it? However, Isabelle has that covered with the return of Senor Butterscotch. Zip's thrilled to be the pilot of the Mairstream, while also wondering if holiday magic might just be stronger than normal magic. Whatever the case, the main five have a means of getting to all their holiday plans, and they plan to set out first thing the next day. And so, with every pony packed and decked out in their holiday garments, I especially love Pip and Zip's hats, and Isabelle's antler wreath, they're clear for takeoff, and away they go, traveling at the speed of magic. First stop, Grandma Figgy's cottage. Before that, however, in-flight entertainment coordinator Izzy Moonbow invites her friends to participate in a good old-fashioned sing-along to the tune of "To Grand Mayor's House We Go." But when they start to sing together, they find they all have different lyrics to the song. So, they alternate lyrics as they go, singing in a wonderful 5-part harmony. After a brief scare with almost crashing into 2 ponies flying while watching their phones, something Zip takes the time to scold them for, they land a little haphazardly outside Grandma Figgy's, which Hitch knows looks different from how he remembers, with so many new trees, and he's not happy about it. It can be jarring, seeing something familiar from your childhood looking so unfamiliar. I felt the same when I was recently back in my old hometown, and so many stores and businesses I knew as a kid just weren't there anymore. Hitch gives his friends a bit of a warning before they go inside. Apparently, his Grandma Figgy loves celebrating Wishday with Hitch the exact same way each year, keeping the same traditions and doing everything just so. He just wants them all to bear that in mind. With their eager acquiescence, we finally meet Grandma Figgy herself. And fans of FIM will be happy to recognize a returning voice actress, Ellen Ray Hennessy, the voice of Mistmane. She's delighted to see her beloved grandson, as well as his good friends, and her dragon great-grandson. Once inside her lovely cottage, with seashell decorations and plenty of photos of Hitch, our pony and dragon friends are treated to hot cocoa and marshmallows. 3 jumbo mouths to a mug, by Hitch's standards, enough to stick out of the top, but not enough to overflow, though Izzy later tempts that tradition with 4 marshmallows. As we learn, the trees outside are from Figgy experimenting with her new Earth Pony magic. Contrary to what Hitch just said about her, she enjoys changing things up once in a while, but Hitch doesn't seem to notice. We're then treated to Figgy showing the friends a photo album of Hitch in his younger days, including him in a little sheriff's outfit. And then, a real blow to the heartstrings, as we see one where Sunny and her dad Argyle spent Wishday with Hitch and Figgy. Every time we see something new with Best Pony Dad, it's bittersweet, knowing he's not around anymore, but also knowing what an impact he made on the lives of the ponies around him, especially his daughter. It's also sweet to see that Sunny and Hitch were still close friends, despite Hitch primarily believing the prejudicial rumors about unicorns and Pegasi in those days. Apparently, that Wishday, Sunny and Hitch had both wished for snow, and Argyle made bubble snow for them. That is just incredibly wholesome. And hey, their wish finally came true, with all the snow currently falling. Odd as it is to see it snowing in Maritime Bay. Still, snow wasn't the best holiday stories for ponies, like Figgy's favorite, Fantastical Flurry Tales of Wishiehoof, the same name as the unicorn holiday, and with the Bridlewood wishing tree on the cover. Zip's detective instincts start kicking in at this point, but she has little time to ponder at the moment, as it's time for cookie cottage crafting. Before they can start, however, Hitch has to find the miniature lights to string up on the houses, despite Figgy's insistence that it's not necessary. She then pretty much confirms what the others began to suspect when they first met Figgy. Hitch is the one who prefers things just so, and Figgy rolls with it because it makes him happy. And seeing her grandson happy makes her happy. It's sweet, but it's also a bit worrying that our good sheriff is projecting his own OCD onto his grandmare and doesn't even notice. Still, it's a relatively harmless fixation, at least as it is, and the others are willing to go along with it. Thus, they all craft their own cookie cottages. Hitch and Sparky make the same one Hitch does every year. No surprise there. Izzy makes what could be either the wishing tree or her own home, Villa Izzy. Sunny makes the bright house, complete with wishing star. Pip makes main melody, with some adorable cookie versions of Jazz and Rocky to go with it, and with no visible ears on Cookie Jazz. They're doing it on purpose by this point, no question. Zip pretty much makes a basic cottage, and seems to just want an excuse to snack on her creation. Can't say I blame her. Sparky also accidentally changes Figgy's teapot into a star plush, giving Hitch a minor freakout, but Figgy doesn't mind, and seeing Sparky cuddle with his new toy melts everyone's hearts. However, Sunny remembers they're on a schedule, and unfortunately, they have to leave. And with no time to lose either, as the snow's starting to fall harder. So, with holiday treats for the trip, the Wishiehoof book in tow, and some hugs and kisses between grandmare and grandson, and grandmare and great-grandson, our friends take leave of Grandma Figgy, with Hitch still none the wiser about who's really the traditionalist in the family. Next stop, Bridlewood, so Izzy can hang her ornament on the wishing tree and be there for the final day of the crystal lighting ceremony. But first, a quick stop at Villa Izzy, one that'll only take 2 shakes of a pony's tail, which Izzy is more than happy to demonstrate. Hey, she did sing about folks watching them shake their unicorn butts. They touch down in Bridlewood, where the snow is still falling plentifully, and Pip gets an unwanted face full of frost while trying to catch snowflakes. Izzy has hoof-knitted scarves for all her friends, and she confirms Zip's suspicions when she states it's never been this cold in Bridlewood before. But she doesn't seem concerned about it, as is the Isabel way. The 6 make their way to the wishing tree, which is already strung up with ornaments and lights, and where a sort of marketplace is set up. Izzy's prepared to hang up her ornament of the tree on the tree when she spots a familiar face, Alpha Biddle Blossomforth, now voiced by Andrew Jackson. He still loves games, and Izzy challenges him to charades, betting her ornament. Unfortunately, she's unable to guess his one-word pantomime, which turns out to be his own name. And, okay, much like complimenting his character in the movie, I have to call some shenanigans here. First of all, if there isn't already, there has to be some rule in charades, or at least an unspoken one, that you can't use your own name. Second, looking at his gestures, did any of that look like he was spelling out his name? It's about as incomprehensible as Celestia charading her love of Equestria and all the ponies in it. Regardless, Izzy concedes defeat and hands over her ornament, but then reveals she brought a backup, just in case something like this happened. Alphabet is impressed by her ingenuity, though he's never had to prepare for such an eventuality himself, and introduces us to the traditional holiday greeting amongst unicorns, Frosty Shivers, which also causes their horns to glow blue. After knitting some more scarves for some cute little bunny corns, Izzy runs to a fan favorite, Beat Poet Onyx, who regales our friends with a Wishie'hoof poem, Requiem for the Fallen Snow, accompanied by bongo beats on, well, the bongos. Mind-blowing as that was for our friends, that was only the short version, but no time for the open mic extended version. It's wishing tree time! As Izzy hangs up her ornament, she explains how the wishing tree is said to hold mystical properties, like getting rid of the jinxies. Even Pip and Zip are given ornaments to hang up on the branches, just in time for the final crystal lighting ceremony. But the day is running short, and Sunny's running out of patience, and has to have Izzy dragged away so they don't waste any more time. Don't you just hate long goodbyes, when you've already started to leave, but then get dragged into a new conversation or distraction? The journey to Zephyr Heights is a lot rougher, as the snowfall is getting a lot worse, reducing visibility, and the Mairstream itself starts freezing over. With no other options, Izzy suggests an old unicorn trick that she admits a few seconds later she just made up, to concentrate really hard and visualize what they want to happen. So all of them try to keep their minds on visualizing the gates of Zephyr Heights. Unknown to any of them during this tense moment, Izzy's horn lights up and resonates with the lantern, which surrounds the Mairstream in magic and stabilizes its flight, bringing them in for a safe landing. Pip and Zip are off to window shop with their mother, and then get ready for the Zephyr Heights Wishentine Royal Carousel concert. Still a mouthful. As for the others, Pip gives them VIP passes for their own personal luxury theater box, which includes free complimentary food, which is good enough for Hitch. Can't turn down free food. Pip and Zip join Queen Haven and Cloud Puff for some window shopping, with some brief Tchaikovsky Nutcracker music in the background, and try to speed along so they can make up for lost time. A maple syrup tasting does sound delicious, though. Her poshness can't quite keep up with her daughters, but she accepts their logic of spending less time in more places than spending more time in less places, before seeing a window display of the three of them. Zip's detective instincts kick in once again when she thinks about the snow, and asks her mother if there's any Wishentine stories about it, but Queen Haven doesn't hear her, being too concerned with getting a selfie with their self-ease. Zip still has an awkward smile during it, but it's far better than the whatever the hell happened to her face in the promo image. Also, those poor guards in the background, hauling around all those packages. Just as bad as that bellboy who did Rarity's luggage in Sweet and Elite. In the Zephyr Heights Theater, meanwhile, Sunny, Izzy, Hitch, and Sparky are living the good life, being waited on by Zoom and Thunder, enjoying Fizzywick sandwiches, which are apparently what Thunder calls cucumber sandwiches. There's even presents set out, but before anyone can tell them they're just decorations, the ponies open them up and find them empty, disappointing them. But you know, those two guards are so smart and so slick, they think up a lie, and they think it up quick, claiming the presents are actually full of air from special clouds, traditional for Pegasi. This explanation satisfies and fascinates our non-Pegasus friends, so disappointment averted, thanks to Zoom and Thunder. At least they didn't get window shopping duty with the royal family. Speaking of which, Pip and Zip's one-and-done fly-by window shopping, accompanied this time by jingle bells, is leaving their mother pretty tired. But she perks up again at the announcement of the Carousel concert on TV, with some very gorgeous artwork of the royal sisters. However, she takes this moment to drop an unexpected bombshell. The show is now twice as long as usual, so they need extra time to rehearse. This does not sit well with her stylishness or her sneakiness, as their friends have no way of being warned of this change of plans. Don't you hate last-minute alterations to what you thought was set in stone? As the others are still being pampered, the show finally gets underway, and, as a nice bonus, we see that Posey somehow braved the snow to come up to Zephyr Heights and watch the concert. For a pony who has terrible luck in Tell Your Tale, it's nice to see her enjoy herself, just like in the beginning of the special. As Queen Haven addresses the audience, it's here that Sunny's given the spit-take-worthy news that they're going to be here longer than they thought, for a 6-act concert. And so, with the accompaniment of the Royal Orchestra Chamber Choir, Pip and Zip, graceful and dressed gorgeously, sing Joyous Wishentine. It was already intriguing to hear Zip sing clearly before in episode 3, when she seemed to have an aversion to singing in the past, but hearing AJ Bridle and Maitreyi Ramakrishnan sing together in a duet is absolutely beautiful. And it's nice to see that despite her dislike of being in the spotlight, Zip can still put on a genuine performance, without looking forced or reluctant. That said, while I wouldn't miss being in the audience to hear them sing for the world, the fact that this concert's longer than usual seems to have a soporific effect on the ponies in attendance, and even Pip and Zip themselves grow tired. Regardless, The concert ends to thunderous applause, waking some of the deeper sleepers up as well, and the royal sisters make their exit, bidding their mother a quick goodbye and changing on their stage outfits incredibly quick. Though startled by their abrupt departure on such a snowy night, when she hears they promised Sunny they'd see the wishing star with her, Queen Haven wishes her darlings a joyous Wishentine, which Zoom and Thunder think was meant for them. The main five regroup, and despite the unexpected delay, Pip and Zip's friends have nothing but praise for their performance. Still, things outside have gone from bad to worse. The snowfall's turned to a genuine blizzard, and there's no sign of the mare stream. Sunny starts to lose hope, as not only is it likely they'll miss the wishing star, but all of them are now stranded in Zephyr Heights. It's likely she feels responsible, as it was her idea for them all to travel together, and now they're all in the same predicament. However, her friends aren't ready to give up, and with Izzy in the lead with the lantern, they start to search for the mare stream as the blizzard beats down upon them. After a brief moment of confusion for Zip, when Izzy sadly proclaims Frosty shivers, sending an extra gust their way, Izzy wishes they could find the mare stream and be back in time for the wishing star. And the lantern, seeming to hear her wish, flies away on its own and lands right in the snowdrift hiding the mare stream, bringing it back out, still in good shape, and ready to take the friends home. It's a magical miracle, or, more accurately, a granted wish, just like in the Wishiehoof story. Zip's finally cracked what's been nagging her all this time. In fantastical fairy tales of Wishiehoof, the unicorns will recite a spell to wish for snow. But of course, unicorns haven't had magic for who knows how many moons. Not until the events of the movie. Frosty Shivers isn't simply a holiday greeting, it's an incantation for snow. This explains why it's suddenly snowing in Maritime Bay, and why it's colder than usual, even for the winter. The unicorns have been making it snow all this time without even realizing it. And that's why their horns would glow every time they said Frosty Shivers. Another case solved by Detective Zip. But of course, the unicorns still don't know they're making it snow more and more, are likely still wishing each other Frosty Shivers, making things worse. Which means it's time for a quick stop back to Bridlewood to set things right. They manage to warn the unicorns to stop saying Frosty Shivers, and instead say, Warm Wishihoof. Quick thinking on Izzy's part, and it rolls off the tongue better. So, the unicorns start wishing each other Warm Wishihoof, which makes their horns and the crystals glow orange instead of blue, the excess frost melts away, and the snowstorm dies down. The day is saved, thanks to the main five, but there's no time to celebrate, as it's time to head back to Maritime Bay. They make it just in time to see the wishing star in the sky, and go up to the top of the Bright House to watch. It seems like they really did have time to do everything, even avert a national weather crisis. But there is one thing all of them forgot. They didn't get each other presents. Whoops. Sunny's not disappointed, however, because getting to share in the traditions her friends keep every year, and being with them through it all, is the only gift she really wanted. As for Sunny's gift to her friends, the wishing star passes over the Bright House, stopping to shine brightly above them, and the UD crystals resonate, projecting their cutie marks into the sky. Sunny doesn't need to say what she wished for. It already came true. Back inside, Izzy does manage to round up gifts for her friends. Cloud presents! Pip and Zip don't get it, naturally, since they weren't privy to Zoom and Thunder's white lie, but they still roll with it anyway, and Sparky's just happy to play with a box. For Sunny and her friends, this is the perfect end to a perfect holiday. And that is the My Little Pony Winter Wishday Special. All in all, it's a cute bit of holiday goodness. We got to learn about the different ways Earth ponies, Pegasi, and unicorns spend the holidays, now that heartswarming's no longer celebrated. We also got some unexpected and interesting lore when Zip discovered the truth connecting Frosty Shivers, the Wishing Tree, and the ever-increasing snowfall. The introduction of the Mare Stream opens up a wide range of potential for future stories, now that the main five can get anywhere they want to in Equestria. And the fact that there's 6 spots in the cabin when they're the main 5 makes things interesting. I mean, Senior Barscotch can't always be there to take that spot, now can he? So who could it be meant for? I also hope we get to see more of Grandma Figgy, especially since, apart from Argyle and Queen Haven, we've been severely lacking in main 5 family members, without even a hint or mention of their existence. For that matter, why is Phyllis absent in Make Your Mark so far, when Sprout's appeared there, but she's appeared in Tell Your Tale, when Sprout wasn't there? Is that intentional? I digress. The songs were catchy, the story, while simple, was wholesome, especially the scene at Grandma Figgy's and the ending at the Bright House. There were some funny bits like the whole cloud present joke, and the main 5 were as lovable as ever. One thing I definitely appreciate is that, while Sunny was obviously impatient to make it back to Maritime Bay to see the Wishing Star, it didn't make her rude or unpleasant about wasting time, souring the holiday mood by wanting to get things over and done. The worst she got was forcing Izzy to go back to the Mare Stream when they needed to leave Bridlewood, and that was played for laughs. She trusted they'd be able to get in as much holiday fun as they needed to, and still make it back in time. Even her brief moment of doubt in Zephyr Heights was quickly dispelled by her friends not giving up hope, showing what true friends they are. The bigger conflict was dealing with the increasing snowstorm and putting a stop to it once they learned the truth behind it. One might also have thought that Opaline and Misty might try to play some holiday mischief, but we didn't see a sign of them. Spoiler alert, but that's relegated to Tell Your Tale. I'll say no more on that. What I will say is that Best Gift Ever and A Heartwarming Tale are still my favorite MLP holiday stories, but this one's right up there with them. And with that, my friends, allow me to wish you not only a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays, but a cheery Wishday, a joyous Wishentine, and frosty, a warm Wishiehoof. Until next time, see ya!